to talk about how you can tap into that wiring. All right, I'm just setting up my camera here so that, uh-oh, I see Don. Okay. Um, so we're live everywhere. Let me just welcome everybody else in. Hi, it's Mel Robbins. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm super excited. I have not been live for a while. You can come on in, Charlotte. I've not been live for a while because we have been traveling and we've been doing a bunch of PR for the book. And so I am back live and I'm going to be doing a couple things today. I'm going to be taking your questions and I'm also going to be reading live from the High Five Habit. Thank you if you've bought a copy of the book. If you want to read along with me today, it's one of my favorite sections of the book because we're going to be talking about how you were born with celebration hardwired into your nervous system. You were born with intuition. You were born with dreams woven into your DNA. I love this part of the book. And if you want to follow along, we are on page 50 of the book. We are in chapter 4. And whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, whether you're watching on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, thank you so much for being here. And how about we get started? At any moment, you can you can ask a question in the comments. My team is watching and they will be handing me questions to answer throughout the broadcast. We're going to be on today for about 30 minutes. And then we got to hop because we've got more press to do for the High Five Habit. And I just want to take a second and thank you. Thank you for supporting this book. We are on the New York Times for the 3rd week. This week, you made us the number 6 selling book on all of Amazon. And for those of you asking about whether or not the book is going to be coming out in other languages, the answer is hell yes, baby. We have sold, I believe, 31 languages in terms of the foreign rights in this book already. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. Let's turn to page 50. And we're about to talk about the 3 reasons why you need to learn how to use something in your brain called the RAS. The RAS is called the Reticular Activity System. You're going to learn all about that in chapters 5 and 6 of the book. You're also going to learn that your mind is designed to help you. And right now you got a bunch of old programming and old patterns that are running on repeat, everybody. And we need you to learn how to break those patterns of thinking and how to replace those broken patterns of thinking that make you feel bad, that make you stay in a negative state, that make you feel discouraged in life. And we are going to teach you how to reprogram new patterns of thinking about yourself, about your life, about what's possible. All right, page 50. We're right here at the bottom, everybody. Here's why you must change your mind. There are 3 reasons why you have to stop beating yourself up and learn. This is a skill, everybody, that you can learn. Learn how to love yourself and empower yourself. Number 1, first of all, when you focus on everything that's wrong or that's going wrong, you're never going to change. This was me for a long time. I was really busy doing stuff, but I was always focused on what's wrong, always focused on what wasn't going right. How many of you can relate to that? Maybe you're really successful. Maybe you got a lot of cool things going on in your life, but you aren't really content or satisfied or feeling the joy that you deserve because you're so focused on what's not working, okay? I need you to develop the skill of focusing on what's going right because it builds momentum and it lifts you up. Because when you have that attitude where you're focused on what's wrong, every change you try to implement is just a reminder that you need fixing, that the situation needs fixing, that things aren't working. And when you feel like things need fixing, everything feels harder. This is why, by the way, diets don't work, because exercise plans and diets, you know what? They feel like punishment, don't they? For those of you that are trying to get healthier, a diet feels like punishment, it doesn't feel like an opportunity. Well, that's because you're coming from a mindset that you got to fix something, that there's something wrong. This negative focus is what is causing you to not feel inspired and motivated, everybody. being on a diet reinforces this feeling that something's wrong with you and that you're not okay as you are. Number two, hating anything, whether it's your body or your past or yourself, it's not going to motivate you to hate yourself. How many of you struggle with either hating your body or hating yourself or hating your past or hating where you are in life or hating your bank account? Research shows that beating yourself up makes it harder to get motivated. Because if you hate something and you don't believe that you deserve to be celebrated or to feel good because you hate your body or you hate your job or you hate the situation that you're in, why on earth, if you're in this negative grinding mode, would you do the hard stuff that it takes to change this thing that you don't like? You see, first, you actually have to accept where you are without like the grinding judgment. You have to forgive yourself for whatever it was that led you to this moment or this situation or this relationship or letting go of your health or into this dead end job, whatever it is. And then you got to start to come from a place of self-love and self-respect and self-worth. I deserve to feel happier and healthier. I deserve to walk into work and feel like I'm appreciated. And I can take the steps to take better care of myself or to put myself in a better situation. You see, when you remind yourself that you are taking the steps because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself, not because of the mistakes you've made, but because you deserve better. Do you see the difference there, everybody? You deserve better as a form of motivation. This is what I call a high five attitude. We're getting you out of this habit of beating the heck out of yourself and punishing yourself and fixing yourself and into a mindset of accepting where you're at, good or bad, positive or negative, happy or not so happy, and saying at the same time, I deserve better. I deserve to feel happy. I deserve to, have the things that I want in my life. That's what we're going to do, everybody. Because here's the thing, and this is what is going to get us into what's called the RAS, the reticular activity system. This is how I'm going to teach you how to train your mind so it works for you, so it helps you get the things that you want, okay? This is the coolest thing in the world. Because the more you repeat something negative or something positive, the more evidence you're going to see for the positive or negative thing that you believe, okay? See, the relationship that you have with yourself can set you free or can make you feel trapped. In the next chapter, chapter 5, you're going to learn how your beliefs not only make you feel like crap, but your beliefs are programming the filter, the RAS in your brain, and your beliefs change the world you see in real time. See, every single day, your mind is simultaneously spinning thoughts in your head over and over and over. And even if it's only in your mind, they wear a groove, a rut in your brain, these thoughts do. That groove becomes like a familiar pattern that you ramble down, and the same old scenery, the same twists and turns, you know it and it knows you. It becomes part of who you perceive yourself to be. You see, telling yourself stories, it turns thoughts into beliefs. And over time, those beliefs that you have, life doesn't work out, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm ashamed, like all those things that you say, they're just awful. Over time, the more you repeat this, everybody, it becomes your identity. And here's the thing I want you to know. You're not to blame for the things that you think. You're not to blame for these patterns of behavior, guys. A lot of time when you're critical of yourself, you actually learned this critical pattern of thinking from a parental figure who was hard on themselves. So regardless of how you learn to beat yourself up, the bottom line is, if beating yourself up makes you miserable, you must take responsibility and change it, okay? You're not responsible for how this pattern of thinking got into your brain, but you have a responsibility to change any pattern of thinking that makes you broken. And when you start to learn that your mind is designed to help you It's going to just create so many breakthroughs in your life. I'm so excited, everybody, because here we are. We're on the top right here of page 52, and we're about to get to one of my favorite sections of the book. I'm Mel Robbins. We're reading from my best-selling book, The High Five Habit. I want to make sure you have the tools in these books. So I'm showing up whenever I can on social media to read it to you. Because here's the thing, everybody. I want you to write into the comments the thing about your life that you would love to change. Write in the comments what you would love to change, okay? And I'm going to look on Instagram real quick because I can see what people are typing right here. I can feel I'm about to sneeze. Don't worry, it's not COVID. You can't catch it through the computer. Anyway, holy cow, there's a lot. What would you like to change about your life, okay? Do you want to change your bank account? Do you want to change something about your health? Do you want to change where you live? Do you want to change your friend group? Do you want to change your finances? Do you want to change your love life? What is it that you want to be more organized? You want to be kinder to yourself. You want to find more motivation. I want to write a book. I want to change how I talk to myself. I want to change my career path. I would love to stop feeling guilty. Okay, great. Here's what's interesting. Anything in your life that you want to change, I want you to kind of start to realize this isn't a battle. It's an opportunity. Okay. The battle isn't with the fact that you don't drink enough water. The battle isn't with the fact that you're not consistent. The battle isn't with the procrastination. The battle isn't with your body or your bank account or any of that stuff. This is all an opportunity to grow into the next version of you. You see, the battle isn't with those things. The battle is with self-hatred. You cannot change from a place of hating on yourself, everybody. You have to start from a place of love. That's what the High Five Habit is going to help you do. It teaches you how to see, speak, and treat yourself with kindness as you take the steps to change your life, to become happier, to make more money. You are going to learn how to see, speak, and treat yourself with kindness as you take the steps to make more money, to heal your trauma, to find the deepest love of your life, to get in incredible shape. You see, Nina did the High Five Challenge with me, and she had a powerful breakthrough. This is what she wrote, everybody. I have been living with body dysmorphia for more than 20 years. After doing the High Five Habit for just 5 days, instead of hiding from my face, I'm finding myself grinning at me instead. Kathy said the High Five Habit is fundamentally changing how she sees herself. You see, this is what she writes. We have this pattern of seeing ourselves in the mirror and always looking at all the flaws. I notice my eyebrows are not aligned. My white hair is growing. Ugh. Why do I have a double chin now? My arms look flabby. I see so many things wrong with myself. And in the world where Zoom and video calls and Facebook Lives rule, it's not just the mirror that we have to live with. It is seeing ourselves on camera more times than we would want to. For me, Kathy writes, the habit of high-fiving myself in the mirror creates an affirmation, a physical act of celebrating myself. The act alone forces me to look at my face, my body in a different light, a brighter light, a kinder light, a more compassionate and joyful way. I found I cannot high-five myself and say bad things in the mirror. You know, that's true. You can't high-five yourself and think something or say something bad. It's neurologically impossible because of the programming associated with the high five that's already in your mind. This is why it's so powerful. We're unlocking neural associations that are already in your mind, everybody. You see, you deserve to be celebrated as you are right now. Not when you lose the weight. Not when you make more money. Not when you fall in love or get into graduate school. Because research shows when you learn how to love and accept yourself wherever you are right now, you will be better able to ride the ups and downs of your life. And by the way, accepting where you are right now is not about complacency, everybody. accepting where you are and being kinder to yourself and treating yourself with a level of respect and self-worth is the secret to self-motivation. When you feel worthy, it's motivating. When you feel respected, it's inspiring. When you feel a sense of worthiness, you will feel worthy of bigger things in your life. You cannot not pound yourself into the ground and believe or feel motivated to change. It doesn't work that way based on the research. It's the opposite. This is why it's so hard. This is why you're struggling, everyone. Because you want these big things in your life and you deserve them. And you have goals and you have dreams and you have desires. But you stand in this present moment and you have all these hopes and dreams and desires for your life and for yourself. But what you do is you just punish yourself mentally. That's why you're not motivated. You have to learn how to be where you are right now, accept where you are, and know in your heart you still deserve to be treated with loving kindness and respect. And when you flip that switch in your brain, in your body, and in your spirit, you will be more motivated and inspired to walk toward the things that you deeply yearn for in life than you ever have before, because you will feel worthy of those things. It's so cool. When you beat yourself up all day long, you're pounding yourself into the ground and you're more vulnerable to feeling like you are being buried alive when life gets stressful. Everything starts to feel like a beatdown. But when you start to look at yourself in the mirror and accept yourself as you are right now and see a person who deserves celebration and support, you're going to tap back into that natural motivation, celebration, and resilience that you were born with. Because you weren't always like this. We are on page 53 right here, everybody. This is one of my favorite parts of the book. Page 53 in chapter 4, and I'm going to read it to you right now. I'm Mel Robbins, and we're reading from chapter 4, page 53 of my instant best-selling book that is changing people's lives. It's called The High Five Habit. Here we go. You ready? Everything I'm about to teach you is already in you. That's the coolest thing about the High Five Habit. We're tapping stuff that's in you. Self-love is your birthright. As a baby, you loved the very sight of yourself. You'd crawl up to a mirror and you wouldn't just high five yourself. You know what you used to do? You used to press your face against your reflection and smile and laugh and love on yourself in one wet, sloppy, open mouth kiss. And there is so much about you to celebrate. Let's start with how unique and special you are. Your DNA sequence, your fingerprints, your voice, the patterns of your iris, every one of these things is entirely unique and yours alone. How you see the world, the way you laugh, the things that you've experienced, the way that you love, it all comes down together to create something magical. You are the only you that will ever exist. Each one of your distinctive gifts and talents is a phenomenon because they are unique to you. And you need to celebrate that shit. And you know what? You are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. Resilience is hardwired into your DNA. I mean, think about when you learned to crawl as a baby. You didn't try once and give up. You didn't lay on the floor and gaze morosely at the ceiling and say, well, I guess this is my life. It's time to throw in the towel. I'm never going to learn to crawl. I think I'll just sit here on this spot on the rug in my diapers and stare at the ceiling. No, you tried again and again because you didn't have words. So you couldn't tell yourself some sad story about how you just can't do it and you're not good enough or smart enough or strong enough. You know what you did? You kept trying. And eventually you pulled yourself across that floor. You're also naturally intelligent. You don't give yourself enough credit for this. By simply watching the people around you as a baby, you figured out how to coo and smile and crawl and scooch and eventually walk. And it didn't matter that you fell an average of 17 times an hour while you were learning to walk. You just kept trying. And that tenacity is still in you. And here's something else, everybody. Celebration is part of your DNA too. As a kid, every time you succeeded at something thrilling and new, you'd laugh and screech and raise your arms up above your head. If the music would play, you'd shake your booty and wiggle and jump around. You are perfectly designed to feel loved, resilient, joyous, and celebrated. That's why a stranger's high five feels so damn good. A high five strikes deep down to the core. It hits the you of you. And it reminds you of something you've forgotten, who you really are and how you're meant to feel. I want to stop there for a second. I would love, love, love to take some questions. And so if you have any questions right now, I'm going to read just a few more paragraphs on page 54 of chapter 4, and then we are going to take your questions. And by we, I mean my team is looking for questions right now. Let me take some questions. We've stopped on page 54. Thank you, Charlotte. All right. Let's see. Mesh 119. Did you write the high five habit from your own experience? Yes, I did. I discovered the high five habit in April of 2020 when it felt like life was punching me in the face, and there was a lot that I needed to change and a lot I needed to face. And I felt overwhelmed and unmotivated and discouraged and defeated. I don't know if anybody else has experiences like that in life, but that's how I felt, like just overwhelmed by the demands of my life and completely defeated by the thought of what it was going to take to face the issues that I had to face. And the high five habit happened, I think, by divine intervention. One morning I saw myself and I just looked so defeated and exhausted. I didn't know what to say to myself. And instinctually, I just gave the woman I saw in the mirror a high five because she looked like she needed it. And from the very first high five, I felt an energy shift every time I did it. And I practiced the high five for about a month. And I kept noticing that I was looking forward to it. I kept noticing that I felt more focused and more encouraged and resilient every time I would high five, myself, the person in the mirror. I noticed that my energy was more positive when I left the bathroom after doing it. And I posted a photo of me doing it one morning. It is a photo that's right on page. It's a photo that I put right in chapter 2. There's the very first high five that I posted online. There's no instructions to anybody. And within an hour, people around the world started posting photos of themselves high-fiving. That's how this whole thing started in April of 2020. I guess that would have been May of 2020 when I posted it. And that's when I realized I'm not the only one who needs to learn how to encourage themselves. I'm not the only one who needs this kind of self-worth and self-support and self-celebration. And I took on a year-long research project, and the result is the high five habit and the high five challenge. And literally hundreds of thousands of people's lives changed and transformed using science and the simple habits I write about in this book that teach you how to stop hating yourself, how to stop beating yourself up, how to stop focusing on what's going wrong, and how to tap into the positive, resilient, celebratory programming inside of you and use it to turn your life around, take control, and to propel yourself forward and ride the ups and downs of life. That's what the high five habit's about. It's bringing all of that self-worth, self-respect, self-validation, self-love, self-acceptance, all of it back inside yourself. Super cool. Here's a question from Savitello. How do I begin to retrain my brain? First of all, you got to get a copy of the High Five Habit, because that's what the whole thing's about. It's about using programming inside your mind, body, and spirit to break apart the habits that run right here on repeat, break self-rejection, break self-hatred, break self-judgment, break the self-criticism, and program in new behaviors and thinking habits and tricks that you can use to make self-confidence, self-support, self-love, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness your default, because you need those things in order to be your best every single day. Another one, how do I start loving myself? Well, you're not going to start loving yourself by telling yourself you love yourself, because you have demonstrated through your actions that you disrespect yourself, that you reject yourself, that you ignore yourself, that you criticize yourself. So one of the reasons why the High Five Habit is so profoundly effective is because we're not telling you to speak differently to yourself. I'm using physical actions, the high five, that are programmed into your brain with tremendously positive association. You've never high-fived somebody and actually thought, I hate you, you suck, you're going to lose. You've never done it. So it is neurologically impossible to think something negative about yourself while you're high-fiving your reflection in the mirror. The physical movement of a high five triggers the positive programming in your brain to kick in, because forever, whether you've been watching people high-fiving one another in sporting matches, or you've been high-fiving other people in your life, or you've received those high fives in your life, your brain knows what a high five is. And your brain doesn't distinguish between you watching teammates high five, you receiving a high five, or you giving yourself one. Every single neuroscientist that I have spoken to, and yesterday I spoke to Dr. Caroline Leaf, who is one of the people who invented neuroplasticity. She discovered it in her research in the 80s, that your brain is capable of changing. She was so blown away by this. She said, I can't believe, since I've been studying neuroscience for 30 years, I've never thought of this. It's brilliant, Mel. Brilliant, because of how it leverages the programming physiologically, neurologically. So you want to learn to love yourself, you need to demonstrate that you love yourself through your actions. And one way you can do that is by adding a high five to your reflection in the mirror every morning as part of your morning routine. You do not say a thing to yourself. Just raise your hand, look yourself in the eyes, and give yourself a high five. And within 5 days, you will start to see magical things happen. Does your book talk about how to get to a place of self-love? Deanna Drish's, that's all that the book is about. Because when you love and respect yourself, you will feel empowered to go after anything in your life. When you love and respect yourself, you will be able to ride the lows and know that there are better days coming. When you love and respect yourself, it doesn't matter what other people think about you. Yeah, it stings when somebody doesn't invite you to a party. Yeah, it stings when somebody breaks up with you. But if you love and respect yourself, the way that somebody else treats you doesn't change how you treat you. This is so foundational. That's exactly what the High Five Habit is about. Oh, why do I keep starting new plans to improve weight and lose weight when it only makes me feel punished and like I failed? Well, the reason why you feel punished and like you fail isn't because you're trying to lose weight. The reason why you feel punished and like you failed is because for years or decades, you have a habit that you don't realize. And the habit is a habit of self-rejection. This is so fundamental. I'm so happy we're talking about this. So every morning in the bathroom mirror right now, everybody, unless you're practicing the High Five Habit, you have a habit in place that is so ugly and destructive, and you're probably not even aware of how casual it is. Every morning when you look in the mirror, you either don't look at yourself, which if you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, that is a habit of rejecting self. If you don't look at yourself in the mirror, or you can't, that is a habit of rejecting yourself. If you're able to look at yourself, I guarantee you, unless you're practicing the high five habit in the mirror, you have a habit of focusing on what you don't like or what you think needs to be fixed. When you do that, you are rejecting yourself as you are. This habit of self-rejection every morning in the mirror is so subconscious. It is so powerful that it now becomes your default all day long. This is why you literally have something to say at work and your mind goes, you shouldn't say it. That's self-rejection. This is why you realize that you have a boundary. No, I don't want you to borrow my stuff, but you don't say it. That's self-rejection. This is why you have a commitment to get healthy, but halfway through the day, you've had a bad day, you're feeling low, and you're like, screw it. I'm not going to eat the salad. I'm having the cake. That's self-rejection because you're breaking a promise you made to yourself. And this all begins every morning with how you treat yourself in the bathroom mirror. Do you reject yourself where you are? Or are you raising your hand in acceptance, in seeing, in celebration, and in partnership? You're only going to do one or two things. You're either going to accept yourself with the high five habit, and over time you'll learn to love yourself and support yourself, or you're going to reject yourself by not looking in the mirror or looking in the mirror and picking yourself apart. It all begins here. And the good news is, based on our research, I'm certain that when you practice the high five habit and the other tools in this book, and you break the habit of self-rejection every morning in the mirror, when you step out into the world every morning, feeling and demonstrating that you accept yourself, that you cheer for yourself, that you love yourself, you then carry that belief into every interaction. It begins with you and your relationship with yourself. Mel, have you any idea what it's like to hear and read what you're saying, but my mind is still beating me down? I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what that feels like. And this is going to be the last question. Thank you. This is one from LinkedIn. And, this also goes to another question from LinkedIn. How does one keep the faith if confidence is an issue? This is all tied together because confidence is about your belief in self and your willingness to try new things and your willingness to believe that things are going to work out and your willingness to believe that through your efforts and through your attitude that you can make a difference in things. And I'll tell you, so many of you, probably have followed me for a while, or if you're new to following me, you see a 53-year-old woman who's wildly successful, who is outwardly super positive, who's traveling around the world, who's impacting people's lives, who has a best-selling book, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah. I will tell you, all those things are true. But it wasn't until April of 2020, at a very low moment, when I stumbled into this thing I call the high five habit, that I learned the secret to truly loving and accepting myself. I have been very busy for the last 10 years, changing my life, building a business, clawing our way out of nearly $1 million in debt, and going on to make more money than I ever thought possible. I have been busy doing the work to build that business, to get into therapy, to work on my trauma, to become a better person. But I never, ever, ever could figure out how to get down to the core issue that was making me unhappy. Because it didn't matter what I did, you guys. It was never enough. 111 speeches a year, becoming the most booked female speaker in the world, not enough. The 5-second rule, self-published, became the #1 self-published audiobook in the history of audiobooks, not enough. The 5-second rule book sold 2 million copies, self-published. It's translated into 36 languages, not enough. Landing a daytime syndicated talk show, not enough. Celebrating 25 years of marriage, not enough. Why? The reason why I never felt like anything I did was enough, the reason why I never felt like I could ever slow down, is because I would look in the mirror and see a woman that was not enough. I would look in the mirror and focus on the things that I hated about myself. I would look in the mirror and I would laser in on what was wrong. And because I had that habit of being focused on what I hated about myself or judged about myself, guess what? That habit of self-rejection, that habit of focusing on fixing and on negativity, it became my default. I then carried that into my day. So I could barely even see all the amazing things that were going on because I was every morning training my own mind to focus on rejecting something I didn't like, focus on the things that aren't working, always feel like it's not enough. And if you stand in the mirror, this makes sense. Your relationship with yourself determines your whole experience of your life, everybody. How you view yourself is the lens through which you view the whole world. Let me show you something. So my lenses are clear. I practice the high five habit, right? I practice the high five habit. The high five habit has broken the habit of self-rejection. The high five habit, high-fiving myself in the mirror, has reprogrammed the default settings in my mind. Raising my hand and making me feel the celebration, making me feel the optimism and resilience to go play a cool game, the acceptance of where I am. It has fundamentally rewired my mind, everybody. I don't look in the mirror and see a human being I hate. Do you know how that's changed everything? I see a human being I love and that I'm rooting for. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean there aren't things every single day that go wrong. But it means that my resting mental state is compassion, support, and encouragement, the foundation of love. And that has fundamentally changed my whole experience of life, because I no longer have this grinding sense that something's wrong or grinding hatred of the little things I'm doing wrong. I approach things with a sense of optimism, encouragement, and compassion. It's very simple. The high five habit clears your vision. The high five habit allows you to see things as they are and to still accept, support, and encourage yourself. I used to have an experience where I looked at the world with glasses on. Like when I look through these glasses, everything is shaded through the lens I'm viewing it. Everything looks kind of pink right now. The glasses that I used to wear that filtered the whole world, everybody, was what am I doing wrong? Everything's my fault. Nothing's ever going to work out for me. When you have that as a belief, you then look through the world. You look through that filter and it shades everything. Everything's going wrong. Everything's my fault. Nothing works out for me. And so everything that I experience starts to feel that way. I miss a dentist appointment. Everything's wrong. I do everything wrong. Everything's my fault. When you do the high five habit, it's a whole different thing. I missed the dentist appointment. Oh, I missed a dentist appointment. I missed a dentist appointment. It's a fact. But since my mind is clear of all that crap from the past, I literally can look at that and say, compassion, empathy, understanding, love, support. I missed a dentist appointment, so I reschedule it. I pay the $25 fee. I can go through my life without adding the pound down that comes from years and years and years and years and years of telling yourself something negative. The high five habit helps you remove those glasses so you can see things clearly and you can see yourself and who you are is a person that deserves support, deserves celebration, deserves empowerment, encouragement. That's who you are. You are hardwired for love. You are hardwired for inspiration. You are hardwired for growth and connection. And it is high time that you start to see that and celebrate that shit. All right, everybody, I believe in you. Now it's your turn to do the work to start to believing in you too. One more thing. On Sunday, we have a huge celebration. It's my book event. You have all asked, am I doing a book tour? Yes, I am. It's happening on Sunday. And it's online. And when you buy a book, this is your ticket. So get a copy of the book, any format, any language. Go to highfivehabit.com, register your receipt by Sunday. Just register your receipt because there will be a replay. Your ticket to the event, the only way that you can attend this book launch event and this celebration, there's a DJ, there's 2 hours of training where we go in deep. There's already 30,000 people registered. Your book is your ticket. It's the only way that you can attend, and there will be a replay. You get access to it for 30 days. So buy a copy of the book, go to highfivehabit.com and register your receipt, and we'll email you a link to attend the celebration and masterclass this Sunday. And there is a replay in case you've already got plans for 30 days. Again, it's my way to thank you. And it's Friday. We'll be back Monday to do more reading for free. You can find these videos on IGTV, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. I am on a mission to teach everybody on the planet the simple science-backed tools that will literally change your life because they change you from the inside out. All right. I love you, everybody. High five.